Howdy do.
Duty how?
I'm Ray, and this is Dee, and we're Herpetology of the Apocalypse. I got it.
Yeah. Are we herpetologists or herpetology?
Well, our name of the thing is Herpetology of the Apocalypse,
Right,
but calling ourselves would probably be, well, we're not actually herpetologists, so we don't have a degree in this.
What are we actually studying? We don't know yet, or at least I don't.
We have not seen one fraud yet in Homestuck, I will say that. Not yet, anyway.
It's an incomplete clade.
Rip.
Okay, well, we're starting up at about... Oh, shoot, I'm on the wrong page. Things reset while I wasn't looking. I have notes. A note page. Okay, we're starting on about page 1942.
A year number this time.
1942, a year number. A very fine year. Not. So, do you want to... And we're also going to talk about Problem Sleuth. Which do you want to do first?
Oh, let's do Homestuck first.
Okay. All right. Then we'll double back to Problem Sleuth. Got it. All right. So, what we start out with is... I had the worst time tracking this down, but there's the Game Bro article, and I was like convinced that I could recognize the guy from the article with his byline, and it turns out just to be a silly stock photo. I was so mad. I thought I was chasing down the world's best rabbit hole. I was going to find something cool because almost always when you look at this stuff, there's always something cool behind it, and nothing. No. The next couple of pages after that, there's a couple of gags with combining stuff or tossing stuff into the captcha log. And it got me thinking about some of the games that I've played with you, and especially the point and click ones. And I should have looked the name of this up, and I didn't. The one with the orphanage and like the
God, that one.
There's pink vomit or pink blood or something.
That's not the one I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about the one with rabbits and stuff. And
yeah, isn't that the one? With Harvey's New Eyes. Yes,
Harvey's New Eyes. About that, I was thinking about the one that we absolutely hated.
No, I skipped that one. Let's just I erased that one from mine. So Harvey's New Eyes. I just remember the first time the only time I played that with you, but when I first played that with you, I was just stunned because I was like thinking, okay, solve the puzzle. And you were thinking, how can I screw with this game?
And sometimes, how can I screw with you?
And sometimes, how can you screw with me? And I remember thinking at the time that point and click games are just about as stupid as they get, and I hate them all. But I like playing them with you because you don't play to solve the puzzle. You play to anticipate what the game designer is doing. And you'd been through this before. And you were making me drive, which was frustrating. But you gave me hints when I got really stuck.
We did that with Grim Fandango too. But
Grim Fandango. Yeah, I really like Grim Fandango. And Harvey's New Eyes wasn't a bad story. It was just, I got so frustrated with the gameplay. But anyway, that was the moment that I finally realized for really and for truly that like you're going to do game design and do well at it, because I was like, you just look at this in an entirely different direction than I ever would. And so I could conceive of games, but I would never be the kind of person who's like running around cackling about walking through walls and, things like that. I was thinking, and then I was like, well, okay, to be fair, when it comes to writing, I kind of do that. I'm like, how can I break this story? That I do that a lot. So for me, that's like, they're messing around with the point and click and stuff in here. And I can see Andrew Hussey kind of having like, I'm going to mess with this. I'm going to mess with this.
I have something to say on that later with Problem Sleuth. Okay. And I was like,
yeah, so like I think what I got out of the beginning was of this reading, this Span's reading, was that Andrew Hussey thinks like a gamer and a game designer but he's making a webcomic. So I don't know if he's going to think about breaking the story the same way I would. I suspect he will, but I don't know that yet. I know that he's thinking about it like a game designer and how to break the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's another picture on the wall. Oh, yeah. There's a picture on the wall behind John in 1947 that's supposed to be Michael Cera.
God, yeah, I looked that up and I was like, I don't think this is Michael Cera. Who is this? No.
Nothing. Okay, so I looked around and very quickly there were references to stuff that looked kind of spoilery, so I backed out and I wanted to ask you about it. You don't know either.
No, you can send that over to me and I'll look through that stuff because I couldn't find it myself, but I looked through it and was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Is this another stock photo? Is this another stock photo?
It has the Beagle Puss glasses on, and you can't, reverse it from there because it's just from him because he added the glasses.
So, it turns out that perhaps one of the best ways to escape facial recognition software is to slip on a pair of Beagle Puss glasses.
Mm-hmm. At least from me. You can avoid Ray. Good job.
So also on that same panel, there's the mysterious Sarah or non-Sarah dude on one side with the Beagle Puss glasses. And then on the other side is, I think, the first picture of a Harlequin that we get. And you talked about Harlequin, but I dug deeper, or at least a little weirder. So what I knew about Harlequin was it came from Commedia dell'arte, from Italy in the 16th to 18th centuries, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that it was improv, and that was about it. But I went into it further and said, okay, so what is improv as far as these people know?
Oh.
Because is it the same thing as what we would do? It was not.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times when you see improv stuff, they go like, okay, we're going to hand these actors this type of role and this type of scenario go, and there's some internal rules they use to keep going on.
Mm-hmm. But yes, yes.
Yes, right. This is more structured. They would hand the actors a scenario and roles, and they were trained on that role, and each of them had a mask. But the scenario basically would only have this character comes in, this character goes out, and this is vaguely what happens. But in the middle of that, instead of the yes and roles, what they had were Lazzi, Lazzi.
Oh, that's laissez-faire.
No, spelled completely different. Lazzi are routine jokes that get put into things across plays. It's a running gag. Okay. So it wasn't just improv, it was improv with repeated running gags. Some of them are, there was one that was Lazo of the Nose. Harlequin, who has a large nose on his mask, gets his nose stuck in something and has to try and get it out. Other characters help him. Some keep accidentally push it in further. Some try to interrupt the characters who are trying to help him. Like, it becomes just chaos. And it happens across, the same routine happens across plays.
I think I would be entertained by that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is going to hit a little harder for me. I was like, oh, the lasso of the mirror. Two of the characters see each other across an open doorway and think that they're looking into a mirror. And so they start copying each other with increasing exaggeration to try and catch each other out. Like, is that a reflection? Or is it, I think it's me. And then they walk into each other or whatever and break the illusion. Now, that's a classic bit that happens across, I think, several of the Marx Brothers movies, where it's usually Groucho and Harpo. Groucho, the very sharp, kind of almost trickster guy.
He's the one with the glasses, yeah?
The one with the Beagle Puss. And then Harpo is I think it's Harpo, the blonde one with the curly hair who's kind of like, I'm just happy and kind of stupid. You know, and so they stalk each other and they end up like walking across the invisible frame back and forth. All right. And then there's another one that I think that you'll find particularly interesting. It's called Lasso of the Food.
Of the Food. Okay.
Of the Food. one of the characters, a female character, cooks a meal, Brigella. She cooks a meal but adds increasingly awful non-food items and then urges the other characters to eat it. They try to get out of eating it. They have to eat it. They get sick. There's mock deaths. There are like battles. No, you can't make me eat it. And that reminded me of
a slime.
Reincarnated as a slime. Shion and her abysmally awful, like magic level bomb cooking.
A running gag in anime of having the purple sludge cooking of, oh god, I don't want to eat that. Is it alive?
It's alive! Yeah. We could hurl this at our enemies and defeat them. Yes! Anyway, there's like over 100 of these classic
jokes
bits like that. And obviously people have been tapping into them ever since, whether on purpose or not. So I think that with having the Beagle Puss on one side is kind of Groucho Marx, and the Harlequin on the other. The Harlequin, the character, was a trickster servant, basically. So having those two there kind of connects them with John in the middle. It's almost like a statement of intent for theme type stuff. Okay, we're gonna have a specific type of slapstick comedy in this that is like the Groucho Marx stuff, but it also refers back to older traditions, and that's why there's all these freaking Harlequins in there. Or not, I don't know. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If so, I think that's really cool, but I have no actual idea myself.
The next panel, John goes off about Betty Crocker, his arch nemesis. Minor request for a minor spoiler.
Okay.
Does that show up again, or is that just here?
Oh boy, is Betty Crocker a thing? I promise you.
Good, because I was like, why call someone an arch nemesis if it's just a cookbook thing? A nemesis is a Greek goddess of divine retribution, basically balancing out good fortune and bad fortune, like people who've had too much fortune in life and are bragging about how they're better at being gods than the gods themselves. I'm the god of cooking. Then Nemesis comes along and takes you down to where you should be, maybe a little bit lower. And an arch nemesis, it gets used a lot as like the big boss or the big bad from a TV show or a game or stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, Betty Crocker's gonna come hunt you down for like insulting her cakes. I am a better cake maker than Betty Crocker. Boom, comes down. Down comes my arch nemesis. But like just a general enemy, it doesn't really fit. So I wondered. Good. I'm glad.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if Betty Crocker came into a more popular forefront because of Homestuck.
I don't know. Dude, Betty Crocker is like the most, I don't know, demigod-like of all of the icons of cooking, because Betty Crocker never existed, was willed into form by the company that made her, mm-hmm. and has been through like 10 or 12 different iterations. They're like, the clothes that Betty Crocker is wearing is no longer fit. Her hairstyle is no longer apt. Perhaps we need an older one or a younger one. It's just like
switch them out.
Avatar after avatar after avatar of the same goddess, you know? So I'm like, Betty Crocker as the nemesis? I really hope it pays off in a literal godlike way, but we'll see.
I will not answer you either way.
Okay, thank you. There's another godlike thing element, like right after that, on page 1950.
1950.
There's year. Another year. Ah, yes, another year. Was it a good year? I don't know. We're just glad that it was a year. There's a pun about the captcha in there. A fire belongs in a fireplace. Damn it. Categorically at all times without exception.
God, yeah, I read that pun and I was like, this is terrible. Why did you write the pun like that? Why didn't you just do categorically? What? Well, hussy.
Because this is worse. And worse puns are better. Anyway, there's a reference here And I'm going down a long hole here.
Is this the quote that you texted to me or no? No, that's later. Got
That's
it.
later. It's not much later though. I can't remember if I texted this one to you or not. So there, in 1950, there's a reference to a domestic myth. As domestic myth of unaccountable origin holds, a home borrows the spirit of the flame for as long as it makes a guest of it, much as the moon takes liberty with the sun's rays. Okay, that sounds kind of like Greek goddess Hestia, who guards the hearth and is the personification of a sacred flame, basically.
Side note, yes, it is the quote I was talking about.
Okay. The rabbit hole is right after that. Okay, so
it was misattributed to Mark Twain, I think, as well.
Yes.
Yes. It's actually Shakespeare.
Shush. When Greek settlements were spreading out, they would take a bit of the sacred flame, put it on like a torch or something, and walk with it Olympic style to the new settlement.
Oh, yeah.
And so they would spread the fire from one place to the other place. And I went, wait, so they would take a city and they would light the fire and take the fire to somewhere else that was a smaller settlement, like a suburb? Anyway, okay. The flames of a suburb. In the hearth of, I don't know, Harlequin.
Spurb the game being a flame that spreads across worlds. Side note, there was a Doctor Who episode involving those kind of flames.
Okay.
This will be a spoiler for the episode, I guess, but it's Doctor Who. Have at it. It was this little spaceship that needed to go inside of a fire to be able to go pew off into space and stuff. And they're like, okay, well, the way to do that is to put it into the Olympics little flame holder thing. Put it in there, run it along, and put it into the giant flame. Whoosh! And off it went.
Cute.
Yes.
Okay.
It was an adorable episode.
All right.
There was also, like, dealing with an abusive father in the same episode, though, but...
So they needed a cute moment after the rest of the stuff. Yeah. Okay, so after the Mark Twain quote, supposed Mark Twain quote, "The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun." I was like, wait, that doesn't sound like Mark Twain. So I looked it up. But I think the import of the domestic myth is that a home is a sacred element as long as the fire is burning in the fireplace. I don't know what that's going to pay off with later, and I'm going to read the actual quote. It's from Shakespeare. It's from Timon of Athens, which is not a common play to look at. So Timon of Athens, the overall picture there is there's a wealthy guy who is extremely generous, and he gives away so much that he becomes broke. He doesn't realize it. It's not on purpose. It's an accident. And he goes to ask his so-called friends to give some of the money back. They're like, new phone, who dis? Right? So he throws a very shaming dinner party, and I'll not say too much more about that, but ends up at the top of a mountain where he is messing around, and he finds, ironically, a huge treasure trove of gold. And people find out and start tracking him down. Hey, can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? And a number of worthy people have come and gone, and he has yelled at them a lot. And then some bandits come, and they're like, we've heard about the gold. We're going to steal it from you.
Okay.
And he goes, "Nor on the beasts themselves, the birds and fishes, you must eat men. Yet thanks I must to Con that you are thieves professed, that you work not in holier shapes. For there is boundless left in limited professions. Rascal thieves, here's gold. Go, suck the subtle blood of the grape, till the high fever seethe your blood to froth, and so scape hanging. Trust not the physician, his antidotes are poison, and he slays more than you rob. Take wealth and lives together. Do villainy. Do, since you protest to do it. Like workmen, I'll example you with thievery. The sun's a thief, and with his great attraction robs the vast sea. The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. The sea's a thief, whose liquid surge resolves the moon into salt tears. The earth's a thief, that feeds and breeds by a composure stolen from general excrement. Each thing's a thief. The laws, your curb and whip, and their rough power have unchecked theft. Love not yourselves. Away. Rob one another. There's more gold. Cutthroats. All that you meet are thieves. To Athens go. Break open shops. Nothing you can steal, but thieves do lose it. Steal no less for this, I give you, and gold confound you howsoever. Amen. So this guy is like, I am done with the irony of this planet. Everybody has stolen from me and stolen from me and stolen from me. Like even the doctors like almost killed me by poisoning me. So much for cures. So much for people. Just go like turn cannibal and start killing people. Harsh. Harsh indeed. But that's where the quote's from.
Good to know.
So it's not just Shakespeare, it's specific Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
1951, they're talking about Game Bros are printed on 50% asbestos. Like, back in the day, you'd get a ton of glossy magazines for all kinds of stupid crap. And, like, we had various fireplaces in places that I live. And unless you, like, tear them apart sheet by sheet and rumble them up, they would just smother themselves out. They'd just be like, we're done. If you could get them to burn, though, they'd be like, ooh, blue.
So they would not, in fact, burn as easily as Game Bro did. Got it.
Right. Game Bro being 50% asbestos sounds about right. 1952, it sounds like Nana died in an accident by trying to get a large, heavy copy of Colonel Sassaker's works off a high shelf using a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to not comment on that, apparently, because I can see the look on your face. Okay.
Yes. I will say, though, I don't think that the book in John's chest is the same book that had killed Nana.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'll leave that in the back of my brain. Keep going a little bit. On to 1954. This is another sort of deep dive. There's a parody religion called the Church of the Subgenius.
God, yes, I was trying to figure out what the name of the religion was. Thank you.
It started in the 1970s. It's still going on now.
Mm-hmm.
They, as their figurehead, they have a traveling salesman who's smoking the same type of pipe, and the salesman's name is J.R. Bob Dobbs, and he worships the idea of slack or easy achievement with no sacrifice or discomfort, and it's counterculture, and it's all over the place these days because a lot of the creators from Gen X were like, and inserted it into kids' materials.
Powerpuff Girls dead.
Yep. Professor Utonium is explicitly designed to be him. So when John beefs up one of his clever disguise by adding one of his dad's pipes, I was like, I know that pipe. Okay. We open up the present. We see the life-size Harlequin doll. The ashes get capsulogs, then put on the mantle back in their urn. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why didn't you just do this the easy way instead of trying to combine capsulog things? Which to me, I was like, whoa, does that mean that capsulog doesn't always work as well as it does conceptually? Yeah, okay. He capsulogs fake arms. We don't know why. And then 1961 is where I stopped, and we see the other two walls of the room. I was like, boop, 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 boop. And we see some of these posters, and I don't remember which ones I've talked about. There's Contact from 1997, A Time to Kill from 1996, Failure to Launch from 2006, Face Off from 1997, Armageddon from 1998, and Ghost Dad from 1990. That's a lot of Matthew McConaughey. Yes. Okay. I'll leave that there. Mm-hmm. I've watched Contact and Face Off. I really like Face Off. It's directed by John Woo, who's just like action movie superstar. Mm-hmm. It's super cheesy, but I liked it.
Good.
Armageddon I watched. Ghost Dad I did not. Bill Cosby in here gets killed off and has to try and communicate with his family because he's a widower. And in the course of the movie, he at one point jokes about being Satan, and I was like, that's a bit on the nose given what we know now, which is there's a lot of controversy. But anyway, I haven't seen that, so I can't say more than that. And now that was as far as I got. Thank you.
Okay, so you didn't get to what we did with the arms?
No.
Darn, I can't comment on that this time.
No, I got to all those posters and I was like, I am so tired of picking up movies.
Well then, it's my turn about Problem Sleuth.
Indeed. Thank you.
So, I started reading Problem Sleuth because, as mentioned, Mom needed to catch up and I have not read Problem Sleuth at all. I knew it existed vaguely because of posters and it being mentioned in Homestuck all of the time. But I was just like, it's just a silly little guy. I don't need to care about this dude. So I left it be. But now here I am, reading Problem Sleuth and going, well, I'm glad I'm reading it now. It's definitely kind of like an early thing to Homestuck for how it goes for writing-wise. Because in this is a lot of, I'm going to yank your chain by doing the exact opposite of what you think is going to happen. And that happens over and over and over to the point where you're like, please, just give me one solid thing. Nope. Whee!
Yes, that was my experience in the beginning too.
But in general, I enjoyed it, but I'm also just looking at that and being like, okay, so I'm understanding both more about Hussey's humor and also how he got to the point where he is in writing Homestuck. Because not just things being later be yoinked from Problem Sleuth to be put into this, but just his general, well, I'm just going to go ahead and take these vaguely shaped objects and make them be like, is that going to be useful? It's going to be this thing, isn't it? Kind of thing. But we're not there yet. And I have an assumption on one of them, but that's not confirmed yet.
Remember, tell me if it's a potential spoiler. I'll stick my fingers in my ears.
Got it? It's not a potential spoiler for the one I'm thinking of. Yes, we have a system for in case I have spoilery things to say, which I probably will in this case. Yes.
Right. So,
Yes.
if we say something about spoilers, then
Spoiler.
go back to the video. And as long as I have my fingers in my ears, don't listen. Okay.
We start off mostly with like this small little room, usually kind of detective noir look, except it's not all dark and gray and whoa. I mean, it's black and white, but it's not like I am so serious with the shading and going across my face.
Charasakuro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Instead, there's just a desk, a phone on the desk, key on desk, all that kind of good stuff. Poster on the wall. No, it was a painting. And I was like, oh, yes, normal thing. Got it. We'll go from here. And then we find out that the desk is fake because it's just cinder blocks and wood. And you're like, And then you find out the phone is, in fact, not connected at all. Doesn't even have a cord at this point. Not even the face of the phone. You're like, twice in a row. Got it. And then we get to the key, and I was like, this is a gun. I disbelieve this. But this is something that probably will come up later in Homestuck. Of being like, here is an object, we're going to switch it over and be like, haha, it's actually this other object.
Okay.
I won't say any further on that.
Thanks.
But I'm like, oh, hey, finally, we have our first thing that I'm like, cool, I can see this happening later in Homestuck. Got it. But then we see, like, the bullets and stuff, and I was like, oh, candy corn. He's got candy corn in his pocket. They're vaguely bullet-shaped, like, we're gonna turn that bullet into a candy corn or something. That's what it's gonna be.
This is point-and-click game thinking here.
It is. Like, there's little notes everywhere, and you have to, like, make sure that you click in specific corners so that, like, you don't miss pixel hunting shenanigans. Or, like, the little notes, flip them over, and if you don't, like, turn them around visually, you're like, is this a word, or is this actually just numbers? I don't know, kind of thing. But there's also some UI stuff in there that's a circle. Here's the arrows of the room, and I was like, oh my god, this is a specific type of point-and-click game. This is escape the room games.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't even recognize that. I was just like, I don't know what's going on here.
Okay. In escape the room point-and-click games, you are trapped in a singular room or, like, rooms offshooted off that room. But first you're stuck in a singular room. Mm-hmm. And in this room, you're allowed to look in specific directions. Towards one wall, the other wall, the other wall, or the other wall. Or occasionally look up and look down, but only when you're looking at one specific wall.
Okay.
Which isn't technically the case in this case because you can see two walls at once.
Mm-hmm.
But you're only allowed to look at the other half of the room, which contains important context you did not have before when you click the buttons and be like, yes, rotate. And you're like, why didn't you tell me there was stuff over there before? Why is there a mural here? What? Mural? Why? That is an essential point of those specific games. You go on many shenanigans, even worse than our usual ones in
the room.
Yeah, it's like The Room, yes. Mm-hmm. That's a specific point-and-click game that's 3D and stuff. But it has even weirder combined puzzles and stuff because this is usually like even more amateur game designers who have zero experience of having their stuff played by other people and be like, is this sane? What do you mean I have to use the cat on the wall? What? It claws the wall off? Huh?
It scratches open the picture and something falls out. Okay, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no logic to it. That drives me nuts.
It really is just see what sticks when you throw it at the wall. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of that sort of stuff happening in Problem Sleuth. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the character will be like, yes, I know exactly what I was going to do, or, well, this doesn't work like it should do, kind of thing, or, I can't pick that up, kind of thing, for a joke. Yeah. But I'm sure that us as the audience will be like, what? Yeah. Like, there's a scene in there of you're trying to give the card to your arch nemesis on the other side of the wall. What?
Arch nemesis. There's that word again. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Whatever. In this case, it's probably not correct.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, it's the same number as the other one. Why would you need to give the number at all? What? Okay, sure, just shove it through the slot. And he's like, okay, that's great. Wait, I forgot to insult the guy who's my arch nemesis, who I gave the object to for whatever reason. Clearly, I must pee through the slot that I shoved the thing through onto the card. And that makes sense. And the guy just, like, is like, oh, okay, cool card. Picks it up. Does not make any note about the card being peed on. And just, like, calls the phone number and gets a bunch of, like, hookers on there. And I'm like, sure. Okay. I don't think that was what the guy wanted in the first place, because he wanted, like, head busts and stuff. He's got, like, 2 of them already. Has a pedestal for the third. The third is blocking the doors, and that's why it's an escape room, because you're not allowed to go out that door. Because the guy was polishing the head bust in front of the door, and you shot him. Because
Because of course you did. With a key.
Which now has no bullets, except you have a candy corn, which I am assuming is going to be a bullet.
It never crossed my mind. I just was like, why candy corn?
It's in his pocket. And why does he keep oh, sorry, I forgot one joke. He has a whiskey flask, and he was like, okay, well, I don't have any more inventory room to put the whiskey flask and the drink from it. Well, I'll just put it in my weapon slot to drink from it. Kind of thing. And then he smacks himself in the face with it, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what would happen in an escape game, that kind of stupid joke. Because you're not supposed to use it in the weapon slot, are you? You're supposed to have it in your pocket slot, or I guess in this case, the hat slot. Okay, now I'm going to do spoilers.
Wait. Put the tea down.
Yes.
All right.
So there's the fake window. There's a window that you're like, oh yeah, you look through, there's people down there. And you're like, oh, yes. Wait, no one's moving down there. There's no interesting things happening down there. Why would he draw that? This is hussy. So he's like, throws an object through the window. It's a brick. And you're like, oh, it's a real window. But no, it's a fake window because he unplugs it. You need me to be quieter?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't hear you because I'm wiggling my head.
Okay. The fake window will be very important in Homestuck later. It is going to be a plot-relevant thing with Rose. And later used for all sorts of things. But I'm seriously surprised seeing it here in Problem Sleuth, because I'm like, what, buddy, what is this huge plot-relevant thing being here? It's like putting, I can't even think of a good thing. Chekhov's gun straight in the middle of a romance book, and you're like, what? Kind of thing. Yes, I am done.
Okay.
Thank you. But anyways. Thank you. Sorry. It was just really surprising. Thank you. Not you.
It just really surprised me. Thank you.
Yes.
That was like perfect comedic timing. Okay. I have to appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have more to say about?
No, it's mostly just me my chain being jointed, being like, what? Or the poster on the wall in the dumbwaiter room and being like, are we doing anything with that? No, you're going off to do the shenanigans with the card and peeing on it and ignoring the poster? You bastard.
Sometimes players do not make the same choices that you want them to make.
I really was like reading this and being like, no, let me play, you bastard! Why are you going that way?
I remember that from playing games with you. You're like, and I'm like, what? Nothing. I'm like, clearly I missed like 8 different things by exiting out of this room, but unfortunately my brain says we have to go this way.
It's a problem with me specifically. Oh. Yep, I won't say that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the stuff that I found when I went through this earlier, so I don't have page numbers because this was before I started writing down page numbers. There's a mention of Ben Stiller's Starsky and Hutch in 2004's Retromania. But I have to note that I don't think Retromania has ever stopped. Every generation goes, hey, stuff from 30 years ago, that's pretty cool. Except your generation is more like, hey, stuff from the 1920s. Oh, diggity.
We just go all ham on everything we can get our little hands on, man.
Yeah, but like a lot of the 80s, stuff that was popular in the 80s is some sort of riff off the 1950s. Anyway, Starsky and Hutch was a cop show from the 70s and 80s, and there were a ton of them, and they were all like Hey, we're cops. Everyone who isn't a cop is lame. So an easy subgenre to make fun of.
Mm.
Ben Stiller, he started out as a comic actor, went into directing, and now he's into increasingly weird, deep stuff. My favorite movie that he's in is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is obscure and most people hated it. But there's this scene where he's on this very, very depressed guy is in Iceland for reasons and is going down a mountainside on a longboard. And just there's this moment of sweet peace. And I'm like, yes, that's my defining moment of what peaceful feels like. Then things happen, but that's another story. Anyway, he does a lot of the writing and directing for the Severance TV show, which just still blows my mind every time I think about it. Ben Stiller? Yes, you have to be smart to be just slapstick funny. Mm-hmm. He actually has a Guinness World Record.
Oh.
Yes. Set on February 6, 2016 for the longest selfie stick, 8.56 meters, at the world premiere of Zoolander 2.
Got it.
Okay. The mural is called Ethnic Cheer. It's located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and it's by David Fichter. And then Madame Mural, who's in I forget who she's mentioned.
She's one of the cards on the fake coffee machine, and it has, you're like, oh, is this a terrible misspelling from Muriel or something? Mm-hmm. No, it's just about the mural on the wall and stuff. Yeah.
No, it's spelled different. Yeah. Mural is Mural, and the name here is Madame Mural, Murel. Mm-hmm. And I went, Madame Mural, where does that sound familiar? And I went, oh, Madame Mural Morrible from Wicked.
Yeah.
Because the Wicked movies are out now.
I haven't seen it still.
Okay. And then there's a reference to Ace Dick. And ace comes from the 1920s, 1930s slang for expert, from playing card games where the ace is the top card. There was an Ace Comics line that published one of the first costume superheroes in comics, the first appearance of the Phantom, which started as a syndicated newspaper strip, and that's a comic strip that different newspapers could license right to publish weekly, but Ace Comics got the comic book rights after the newspapers. Mm. So they relicensed it after they were done. Anyway, Ace Dick. There are a lot of slang words that got thrown around, and it was like ace reporter and ace photographer and ace something Number one. And it really, ace detective is probably the only thing that's survived from that era. Anyway, that's what I got.
I mean, side note, I think it is also literal in this case for his name. Ace, number one, and Dick. This guy is number one Dick. Because our main guy is P.S. Problem Sleuth, and the arch nemesis who I was mentioning earlier is this Ace Dick, who is, once again, the arch rival, who is like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
So he's the Greek goddess that will come and punish Problem Sleuth for his arrogance in challenging the gods.
I have no idea. Okay. I haven't read Problem Sleuth.
Me neither. Past this, we have not yet gone. All right. So next time
shenanigans.
Next time shenanigans. We're not going to plan it out. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Hey, Liz.